Firebird 2000.
Racing people, deal with it. Work on your car, make it better. This is my disclaimer. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I have some talent, some skill with this, but a lot of this is trial and error, and a lot of what you're going to see in this video is trial and error, things that I did wrong, but then give me a chance, I'll make it right. So it's been a minute since I've done a, what do we call it, like a tutorial or how-to on the car, because I really haven't done many changes to it, as of late. So here we are. For this season, I'm going to swap out the Terminator LS computer that I bought back in 2016 for a Terminator X, because it has some more features that I can utilize since the car, is boosted, and I can do a little more tuning to it. And I picked up a laptop. And I'm going to make an alteration to the dash that I've wanted to make for a long time that will help me get to the electronics without having to remove the dash, which the dash is removable. I made it that way, but this will make it even quicker. Follow along and hope you enjoy it. Oh yeah, and the heater's making noise, so that's what you hear. But it's cold, so I'm sorry. Alright, first I need to kind of clean out this mess in here, all my safety equipment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut part of that panel out right there, and then I'm going to probably Gorilla Glue some flat mounting tabs on the back side of the dash, and then add some Velcro to it so I can just pull it off with Velcro. I think that'd be the easiest way, so let's get started. Well, and now I'm squeezed inside the car. As you can see here, look at my legs. This will probably hurt trying to get out, but, okay, nevertheless, it's worth it. Because the wall's pretty close on that side. Here is the panel. I'm going to actually use this blue tape to kind of make my, cut lines on. And I want to make sure I don't get into this. And I know it's going to make a mess with the Dremel and all, but this car needs a good cleaning anyway inside here, so I will just do that when I'm done with all this mess. Alright, here I've got all the cuts made except for along the bottom, and I'm going to do that. And I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't really have much tension here to pop, so that's very good. So yeah, it did make a little bit of a mess, but you know what, I can clean it up. Now that is exactly what I want. This panel I can make, removable. My cut along the bottom here is a little crooked, but hey, it's on the bottom. You won't see it. But now I have access to all the electronics now. Hopefully they didn't get too dirty. Heck, this glue is awesome. This Gorilla Glue, the epoxy, it sets in 5 minutes and it comes out clear. We use it at my work a lot on door hardware that we assemble, and it's it's worth the $8. And I'm going to use it to glue my mounting tabs, and actually I'm going to glue the Velcro down with it on the removable panel that I'm working on. Alrighty, I'm in here again. I have glued some aluminum tabs I made down with the Gorilla Glue, and I'm using these cheapo clothespins to kind of hold it in place until everything dries, and then I'm going to glue my Velcro on top of those, and then I can put it back in here. I was going to put tabs down here, but they were going to be in the way, and with the way this curves, it was just easier to put them up here. I mean, this isn't any kind of structure or anything, so I got a wood piece in there to hold it. So alrighty, good morning from the car. It's a whopping 12 degrees out today. Let me get a light on here so you can kind of see. So my gluing with the Gorilla Glue that I so highly praised didn't work. It didn't stick to the fiberglass for some odd reason. So I went with, I drilled holes and riveted it, and then I actually put a step down into the aluminum piece, so when the Velcro sits on there, the panel won't be up above the rest of the dash. That's my hope anyway. So, you know, hopefully that works. So I've had the heat on in here for a couple hours, and it's fairly nice in here now. So we're expecting some snow tomorrow. That, you know, like the weather, they never tell you exact amounts because they don't know. But so I may be, you know, stuck out here working on this on Monday if I can't get out. So my personal chair at home is also the Holley Terminator X planning station for today. Okay, well, I have the Terminator X in. I have the CAN bus edition in because I am going to add some sensors and have that operate some things for me. I did move fuses, relays over, excuse me, and the terminal strip. I moved it over. It gives me a little room down below the Terminator X. I'm going to put another terminal strip for the CAN bus box and anything else I might need. So it's getting there. All right, here we are a little bit farther along in the project. I have a terminal strip mounted, and some of the wiring kind of cleaned up and tied up out of the way. Still a little more to go, but got a good chunk of it done today, so that's good. Hello, it's a whopping 27 degrees today on this beautiful Sunday morning in January, which is much better than last weekend when it was like 11 degrees, so I'll take it. But today we're going to continue doing some wiring on the CAN bus input-output module and whatever else I might run into, so enjoy. So when I start to tune the car, I did not realize this until I had started really diving into the instructions for the input-output module, but I need a CAN ID number, I believe it's called, like a serial number that's on the back of the module that I've already mounted on my electronics panel. So I need to pull it off real quick, which won't be too big deal, and then I'm going to figure out how long I need to terminate my wires coming out of the CAN bus module over here to this terminal strip. Well, as you can see, the ID number is printed right there on the back on this label, and there would have been no way humanly possible that I could have read that while it was mounted. I should have, that's on me. I should have noticed that when I breezed through the instructions initially. So that's it. That's all I needed. All right, so I've got the harness that I wired last night inside. I've got it temporarily plugged in, and I've marked the ends of my wires where I'd like to cut them all. So hopefully that will work as planned. And I can do that inside where it's a little warmer while I'm watching TV. So I bought a new switch panel, and I'm gonna put it in here, and that's gonna create a spot where, you know, I gotta fill in. But I've also got this Aeromotive fuel pump controller that I'm going to squeeze in right here underneath that when it's all said and done. So that'll be nice. That'll work out just right. So I stepped out here after work. Gosh, it's like almost 4 o'clock and it's only 15 degrees. It's freezing today. I guess, you know, it's only going to get worse. But anyway, you don't care about that. Before I got too far along into this, I wanted to explain that the wiring, this guy, and this guy, from the Terminator LS to the Terminator X, the harnesses are identical, so I don't have to rerun new wiring or remove those and replace them. So that is awesome. So I've got the wiring for the CAN bus input output module started on this freezing cold day. And that's a good start. That's what I wanted exactly. So happy with that. So it's a little bit of what we call Thursday night thunder, because I'm out here in the garage on a nice Thursday evening. I guess nice for Indiana in the winter. It's a little warmer than it was yesterday. We were in negative temps yesterday, but anyway. Tonight I'm going to add a new ground point closer to the electronics, something that I can access when I have the dash panel off. And I may dig into working on the new switch panel area today too, so stay tuned. So I am going to add a grounding location right here on this piece of steel. It's tied to the roll cage and tied to the firewall of the car, and that'll be a lot easier for me to add grounds and things in here, because the other one is that direction up under the dash. I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's way up there. Now I've got my wiring for the CAN bus module kind of tied up out of the way now, and it runs over here to my new ground and into the other CAN bus harnesses. So hopefully that is going to be good. And then this right here, if it all goes well, should be my plug for my CAN bus cord to the USB plug, so I can plug my laptop in. When is the weather going to get nicer? How am I supposed to know? It's still winter for the racing season. Deal with it. Work on your car. Make it better. Hey, it's the weekend and we're back at it for this winter work. Doing upgrades to the car still. Tonight I think I'm going to run the wiring for the transmission temp sensor from the Holley CAN bus. And then I'm going to start working on the new toggle switch panel that I bought. Getting that all straightened out. So hopefully this will be a fun one. wire for my transmission pan temperature sensor hooked up. Should read through the CAN bus, and it goes down through a grommet I've already got down there for my trans brake. So that's done, and then we move over here to this mess. I have drilled out the rivets on my my old switch panel, Moroso switch panel, and I'm going to slowly change these wires out onto the new one and mount it in place. So 2 years before this video was published, I did a video on installing a USB plug into the race car to use for my my draggy. It worked for a time or two, and then it stopped working, and I just never got around to looking at what was wrong with it, because I figured it might have been just the USB plug was defective or something, and then I never took the old video down, and because I just didn't know what to do. But when I had this apart, you can obviously see right here that this wire is the wire that was for the USB, and it had come undone. It works just fine now. So I've finished cutting my fiberglass panel that's going to fill the void left from the old switch panel, and I've got my panel, I got the switch panel mounted, and I've got the wiring all done up on the back. Now we're going to hook one up and see if it works. Well, I've got a lot done tonight. I'm very pleased. I've got the switch panel wired in, and it's all hooked up, and I have tested it. Everything seems to be working. My ECU is still the old one, so the firmware isn't right, but otherwise the interior fan worked, my USB worked. My line lock light is on as soon as I turn the ignition on the key on, so I don't know what's up with that. And my fuel pump isn't coming on, but I think it's because the ECU isn't telling it to operate. So I'm very happy that this all worked out, and this panel looks really good. My connections are much better than they were before, and yeah, I'm looking forward to wrapping that up. Alright, it's totally unrelated to this portion of the video, but if you notice I'm kind of scruffy. This is a whole week's worth of not shaving, so if you look at this picture from a week ago today, this is all I got. I'm 50 years old and I can barely grow a beard. Anyway, today we're going to continue some work on the car, some wiring, and we'll just have to see what else pops up. So here we go. Okay, so I switched these two wires, like I said earlier, and I know my fuel pump wasn't working, but because the old Holley EFI screen said it needed a firmware update, well, I put the Terminator X screen on here, and now it says no calibration detected, and now my fuel pump light won't even come on or off. So that's a good sign. It means I'm on the right direction for that. So, but I've changed my wiring over here, and it's gonna, I'm not sure where my spare plug right here that will be for the laptop. I'm not sure where that's going to exactly end up when I get these all tied up out of the way, but got it figured out. I don't know what it is about today, but I'm still cold, and it's warmer than it's been for weeks. Maybe I've adjusted or something, I don't know. But anyway, my foot down here, sitting like this, my foot is going to sleep. Going to sleep. I guess, first world problems of having a small area where I work on this car. But that's okay. Anyway, so I've got this all. This is for the Holley screen, and it ties in, and I had an extension harness, CAN bus harness that I got rid of. This plug here is for the my laptop, so it moved from where it was over here earlier, which that's okay. And
I'm going to put this fella back in its home now and mount it in place. As you can see, I had two wires just reversed, and if you can hear that, my line lock is working again. Yay! Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Now what am I going to do there? Huh. Crap. That. Yeah, I'll have to use that other Y. I have one more Y connection, and I'm going to have to use it because this end on the Holley EFI screen, which it actually says Holley EFI on it, and the new one says Terminator X, it had a double plug on the end of it, and this new screen only has the single CAN bus, so thankfully I have another Y, and I'm hoping that will work. Well, shoot, that ain't gonna work. Don't. 2 into 1. That's going to require a totally different plug. I'm going to need... Oh, you know what? I'm going to need to... That's not helpful at all, is it? Crap. I don't know. I'm stuck. So one of these is the screen. And this is the screen, I'm sorry. So I need something 2 into 1 all 3 females. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think this through and try something else. Ah, crap, that ain't gonna work. They're too big. Yeah, that's not ideal, but it is what it is. Yeah, that ain't perfect, but it's better than it was, I guess. It's not gonna budge. Well, that looks a lot nicer, and the switches are a lot better than the old Moroso panel that I had. It's all, it's going to work a lot better for me. I'm really happy with it. If you watch any of my drag racing videos, a lot of times you'll hear the fuel pump run on after I've shut it off, and I think it's just getting too warm. So I spent some coin and bought this Aeromotive fuel pump operator. It takes the place of the relay, and it doesn't have it run full speed at all times. I can adjust it to run, you know, slower until I need the full amount. So hopefully that will help the fuel pump. Well, I didn't get a lot done today, but I'm tired. I've been working a lot of hours at my job, and I think I'm just gonna spend the rest of the day just relaxing, maybe squeeze a nap in before my wife gets home, and I'm gonna continue watching the U.S. Street Nationals down in Bradenton, Florida. All right, today I had to jack the car up, so the heat isn't on at the moment, so it's a little chilly out here, but that's all right. I am swapping out the transmission pan because the one that came on the transmission when I bought it doesn't have a bung for a trans temp sensor. And since I am adding that, I want to go ahead and finish up the wiring on that now, so it's not dangling under the car in case I need to move it later. Yeah, you can go ahead and judge me. Yeah, I'm using the kitchen counter to install my transmission pan drain plug, and this thing has got one heck of a magnet on the end of it. My other pan is just a stock Turbo 400 pan, as far as I know. I've actually never had it off of the transmission. It's a cone transmission, and yeah. I'll tighten that down and put it on the car. And yes, I'm using the cork gasket that came with the transmission pans. I don't care if you like them or not. I'm going to use it. It also requests that you put some gasket stuff maker on the pan side. And I have my trusty gasket maker here, my Ultra Black, and when you don't use it enough, this side just seals shut, tight, hard, and it ain't coming apart. So I poked some stuff down in there, and anyway, so you have to go to the other end and cut it. Which, you know, I'm probably going to lose a lot of stuff out of it, but that's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do. So scratch all of what you just saw. The pan that I bought wasn't deep enough to fit on the transmission that I have. I'm thinking part of it has to do with the manual valve body. So I actually just used the hole that I made to drain the pan quickly, and I welded a bung on there, and that's where it's gonna read the temp. Hey, it's the weekend again. Been putting in the long hours at work, so the weekend's the only time I really get to play with this thing. And today was also haircut day. As you can see, I got my hair cut at Hartley's Tonsorial Parlor. Yes, very nice. Anyway, today I'm going to finish wiring up the Aeromotive pump speed control, and also yeah, there was something else, but I cannot remember what it was. But anyway, well, you'll just have to keep watching to see what I do, I guess. Yep, I'm watching drag racing while I'm working on the drag car. In here doing more wiring. Alright, we got a little bit more wiring in here than what you saw last. Right here is a circuit breaker for the Aeromotive pump speed controller, and now I'm going to finish wiring it up. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have the calibration set up yet, so that's probably Okay, well, that might be because of the fuel. Okay, well, I know I got it wired right, so we'll just, oh yeah, the fuel pump isn't even hooked up, so that'd be why it ain't working. Okay.
So this wraps up the February 8th installment of this video. 40 years ago to the day, the last episode of the Dukes of Hazzard aired. And this picture that you're looking at is 7-year-old me getting an autograph from John Schneider's stunt driver, stunt double, Al Wyatt Jr., who's no longer with us, and may he rest in peace. This was at SeaWorld in Ohio in July of 1982. Good Sunday morning. We are going to wrap up the wiring for the Aeromotive pump speed controller this morning. And that may be all that we do. We may just enjoy the rest of the day relaxing. The Aeromotive pump speed controller is now wired up, except for attaching the wire to the fuel pump, which I have ran up here under the dash and down here along the rocker panel, up here and through the back. And with this pump speed controller, I can get rid of this relay here and this circuit breaker here, so it'll simplify a little bit of my wiring as well, which is nice. We are making some progress. Things are being removed. I've got the top side all done. This looks a lot cleaner with no relay and a lot less wiring. And if you move over here to this side, there's no extra additional relay now, so that tidied up a lot of my wiring. Greetings from underneath the car, where I have the new larger 10 gauge wire. I did not have a 10 gauge wire running to this fuel pump before. That was probably some of my problem with the not running, overrunning when I shut it off. So hopefully that'll help something. I hope. Yep, we got her all wired in, and that part is done. Hey, I'm a little close to the heater. Apologize for the noise, but here we are. It's another weekend in Indiana. We're gonna get some snow tonight. I know I've been making this like a weather update thing. It's just kind of stuck on this video, so if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Hey, today we're going to I got some stuff to tidy up on the battery, and now that I'm going to change the map sensor because I have a 2-bar and the Terminator X requires at least a 2.5 bar, so I have a new map sensor for that. And we're probably going to change the plugs, so we have a fresh set of plugs in it when we fire this baby back up. Well, you just watched me change the plugs. Like I said earlier, I was going to replace my map sensor, but I realized after doing a little research that I didn't have it hooked up the way I wanted it, or should have had it hooked up. From what I've read online, this is my map sensor, that you really should have it attached close to the intake, and I did have that way at one point in time, but then I added this distribution block for vacuum, and I used this connection to tie into it. So I got this long hose here. Well, anyway, I bought an adapter that I can plug in my map sensor into, and then I'll just tie it into here on the side. So I've got that coming from Motion Raceworks. That'll probably be the next thing I put on the car. Well, while I'm out here today, I'm going to go ahead and change the wideband O2 sensor for the brand new one that came with the Terminator kit, because, you know, why not start fresh? And this one is, I can't remember, I would have to look it up and I'll put a note in here, but I think it might be an upgraded one because it had to have an adapter to plug into the harness. So, it's brand new. So, and it goes down here, if you can see that, and I'm able to get up underneath the wheel well with a wrench to break that sucker free, because they get hot and they get stuck. So that was very rewarding to get that sucker loose that easy. So we're gonna put this in and then that'll be done. And to wrap up this day, I changed out my intake air temperature sensor. The one I had in there was the one I had originally purchased back in 2016 when I put the Terminator LS kit on, and thought it'd be a good idea to replace it with this new Terminator X. So I went with a RIFE sensors brand. As you can see, the original is on the left and the new one is on the right. Hey, party on! I'm dressed for success this morning, as you can see. Look at this. Woo, yeah! Alright, anyway, today we're going to mount the map sensor. My part from Motion Raceworks came in. We're going to mount that, and might try to load the program into the Holley EFI and see if it'll turn over. We'll just have to see what happens today. This was a bracket I had on there previously that held the old map sensor on, and I just bent the end down, put a 90 on it, and then drilled a hole to mount the Motion Raceworks bracket, because this bolt was just too large to mount it to, and even if I drilled out the hole for it, I still didn't have enough room to put the nut on. So this will also help give clearance for the airline to attach here as well. So here we go. This would be the finished map sensor bracket. I'll mount it up with the airline. Now I just need to pick this guy off and plug his old mount. But that's a much cleaner looking install, and it's right there close to the intake like it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's done the right way this time. In the process of undoing the zip tie that held all these vacuum lines together, I realized this line just fell right off. And if you notice, it's busted on the end, and that's to my, well, it goes down here, and it goes down here to the fuel pressure regulator. So I'm going to switch that line out for some of the hard plastic Motion Raceworks line. So I've tried to start the car. I've done the wizard on the Terminator X handheld, which I am going to go in with the laptop and fine-tune everything, but this will just get me going. Computer comes on, the ignition would, the starter would turn when I hit the key, but I still didn't have my fuel pump, and I knew I had two wires, and I was certain I had them hooked up right, because I had it all mapped out. It looked like it was perfect. Ended up they were backwards. All I did was I took the switch plate back apart and switched the two wires right here on the plug, and wouldn't you know, the fuel pump works perfect, and the Aeromotive pump speed controller comes on now, and it would not before because the pump wasn't being activated. So I'm really ready to fire it up, but I don't know if I want to do that today or not. So I did a little rewiring here on a couple of the switches, got the wires right, so now we are good to go to put it back together. Well, it worked today. All day I wondered, well, will this thing fire? Because I know the starter turns and the fuel pump's running, so I'm just going to try it real quick just to see. It hasn't ran for a while, and obviously with the new hardware, it might be a little troublesome, but we're going to give it a shot just to see, just for a second. Oh, right away. Right away. Okay. How many? A little more tuning to it. Okay, well, I'll take that. Hey, and I hear the gas returning to the fuel tank. I always wondered if that actually worked. Okay, well that's good to know. It fires. Now that I know that it'll run, I need to go in and do some more tuning, obviously, but that makes me feel so much better knowing that it fires. Yay! You're not going to believe this. I thought I'll come out today and start the car, because the last time we had it running, it would run for a few minutes and die, and I thought I needed to do some more tuning. So got that out, went through all the things, did a TPS reset multiple times, and it still would just start for a second and die, start for a second and die. And my IAC percentage, I couldn't get it to cooperate. It was supposed to be between 2 and 10, and I kept getting 91, 91, 91, so I thought that was bad. And I had a spare, so I put that on, same thing. So then I started looking online and just happened to find, after doing a lot of digging, happened to find someone that said the 3-bar map that they put on their intake, the plug for it was wired differently than what the Holley one was. So let me explain here. I have a 2.5 bar map on here, and it came with its own little adapter harness because the Holley has a different plug. Well, come to find out, this is wired differently than what the Holley is set up for. So I just quickly rewired it, as you can see, just temporarily. I'm going to fix all that good later. And put it on, car runs. The car freaking runs. I can't believe it. It is really windy here today. I mean, like really windy. And when I opened the garage door just a little while ago, there wasn't a single leaf in here. But as you can see now, I have quite the leaf collection. So after I realized this would work as it was rewired, I took it apart and shrink wrapped the connections and covered it, and then reattached it. It's a little cleaner than it was before without the loop there. So I'm glad that was all it was. Well, it's a beautiful yet chilly Sunday morning here in Indiana. The birds are out there chirping. Spring is getting close. Today we're going to I'm going to change the idle air control valve back to the original one that I had on there, because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And then we're going to fire the car up, let it run, and try to adjust that idle air control valve to the specifications that the Holley manual says. And then I'll feel a lot better about it. number is at 0. So I need to double check that, make sure that's cool. Alright, so I had the information I just told you about the IIC valve backwards. Actually, when the car's up to temperature, it should be between 2 and 10, and if it's 0, which is what I had, I need to close the blades until it's between 2 and 10. Well, heck, I was just out there opening the blades as you saw me, so let's try this again. I have closed the blades, and I'll see if the TPS is still good, where it's at. That's weird. Why ain't it firing now? Okay. All right, let's try this again. Okay, why is it not firing now? Maybe I need to do a TPS reset. Let's do that, since I monkeyed with it. TPS is 0. IC is 54%. Air fuel's initializing. I just need a little gas. So this says I need to close the IC valve because it's still reading 0. So I noticed that my temperature was getting up in 200s, which no, and then I'm like, hey, the fan isn't kicking on. And you know, I have experience with this, so I knew how it was set up for like 195 degrees. Well, I got to looking in here, and you know, I changed all my settings to what I wanted, and it still wouldn't work with this AC shutdown thing. Was at 50%. I just took it down to 0, and then my fans immediately kicked on. So I mean, I don't have AC on it, so really don't need that. So I'm glad that that's fixed, because I would have taken it out, started driving somewhere, and then it would have overheated and I'd have been stuck or ruined something. So thankfully I caught that. So whew, close call. I love the sound of this car. Starting to get where I want it, which is good. I put some miles on it. Sound we should be hearing. Some fans are good at cooling. I must be very happy that I fixed it. Well, it is a beautiful 62-degree day here in Indiana, early March, which is, you know, kind of a treat, because it'll tank again. It's supposed to snow again. Anyway, I'm after work, I guess, so I'm going to put these fittings on for the fuel pressure regulator airline hose that was busted that I showed you all previously. So I'm gonna just throw those on, and that'll be it for today, I think. I don't know if you can see this or not on the camera, but the plastic line actually says Motion Raceworks on it. That's really a nice touch, I think. Very cool. And we got the new Motion Raceworks push to connect line hooked up with my new fitting that just came yesterday, and the line goes up this way, and into this air vacuum distribution block. Yeah, vacuum distribution block. Yeah, that's easy to say. Well, happy Trans Am Day, as I'm calling it, because the Trans Am was debuted on this day in 1969. Trans Am Day? That's not a vehicle a smart person would own. Today, Trans Am Day, I need to work on the throttle linkage because it bends. I noticed it bends when I'm pressing the gas all the way to the floor, which that's not good. And we may take it out for a spin. I need to get it warmed up and put a few miles on it so the computer will kind of self-learn until I get some tuning expertise. And then I also need to get the transmission warm so it will tell me how much fluid's in it, so if I need to add some more or not. So that's kind of what I got planned on for today. So this bracket, that should be 90 degrees. I straightened it the other day because I noticed it was bent, and now it's bent again. But look when I press the accelerator and see what happens. Now if I take this long piece of furring strip and press on the gas pedal, watch the, it's moving. When it's full throttle, it's moving. So I think I need to move that down a little bit and maybe forward. I don't know. So we're going to try something. So the comment I made the other day about adjusting the AC shutdown on the screen to 0 helped my fans run. Well, yeah, it did, but then the fans ran all the time. So then I adjusted it back up to 50%. Like it was, and the fans would kick on when the throttle was at 50%. So I'm like, this is not right. Well, I got to looking, and they have changed the pinouts on that particular output plug. So some of the wires are obviously different colors from the old one to the new one, and they've changed the location. So obviously I had it hooked up to the AC shutdown, so it was turning the fans on for that. So I've rewired it, I've got the right pins, and both of my fans should work now. Which I don't think the intercooler fan, I don't know that I ever got it to work, or ever saw it working, honestly. So maybe I had something really screwed up, but, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a lot of stuff, that's just trial and error with me. I like to learn things and figure it out on my own. That's sometimes the hard way of doing it. But hey, you know what? It's a learning experience, and it's fun. Like Gene Winfield, who just recently passed away at the age of 97, may he rest in peace. He always said that every day is a school day, and it certainly is. If you can learn something, go for it. Don't be too busy like me that you forget to take your medicine. Always remember to take your medicine. All right, ready to go. So I have rewired my input outputs to my fans, and now I have fan number 1, the main fan, where it will kick on at whatever temperature I set it at. And the second fan, which is actually right in the nose of the car and is on the intercooler, I tied it into the AC shutdown thing, which is basically an output. Then it'll kick that fan on when there's like 50% throttle. So we'll see what that does.
So every time I sit down on this side of the car, the engine died. And it did it twice, and after the second time I saw sparks over here. And my biggest fear came to life. I put a screw right through that power lock cable. I didn't... Oh gosh, yeah, I'm going to run them on the outside of the trim. I'll just put some black convoluted tubing over it, because yeah, that's bad. More idiot mistakes. Well, I'm going to take this for a little trip around the block just to see what we got. And I'll be back. This is actually the first time I've driven this out on the road since I changed the steering rack, and I'm pretty happy that nothing is out of whack. I was able to back up like normal this time, so hopefully that stays that way. Boo! It's a beautiful 66 degrees out today on this what someone told me was Mario Day, and I will explain that right down here at the bottom of the screen, why I called it Mario Day. Anyway, today we're going to start swapping out my shifter. I have a Hurst shifter in there that I've had for a lot of years, and I was very disappointed to see that it was made in China. Last year, gosh, it's been over a year now probably, I bought a Motion Raceworks shifter for my car, and I'm ready to put that in. Here's the Hurst shifter that we're going to be removing. Today I'll probably just pull that Jegs cover off and verify the wiring is the same for the reverse lockout and the neutral safety switch, which I've got it in neutral right now, so that's cool. So I have a written record of where these wires are hooked to here at the switches at the shifter, but I don't have any notes on where it goes that way up under the dash. So I am going to trace that and mark it on my schematics, because I do have schematics that I've created over the years that tell me what wires go where and what it is and all that good stuff. This shifter is really nice. It's one of the nicest pieces I've put on this car, honestly. I'm very happy to have it, and I really thought a long time about getting it before I got it, and I'm going to really like being able to see what actual gear that I'm in, because with the Hurst one you're just kind of guessing, because it's not really marked. So I mean I know where they're at, but it's nice to be able to peek down and look real quick if I need to. And and I've got the basic assembly put together. I've got the cable attached. It goes up in here. I've got the feet on. Now, next thing to do is to mount it in the car. But we'll save that for another day. Well, today we're going to yank the Hurst shifter out and start mounting the Motion Raceworks shifter in its place. Do I need to use this really long screwdriver? Absolutely not. Do I want to use the really long screwdriver? Absolutely. In a way, I'm kind of glad to be taking this out, because this little sucker was sharp on the end, and I put a rubber, valve, like a vacuum cap on there, and it would always pop off, and I don't know how many times I cut myself on it. Got to use my new cord off the ceiling today. Charlene bought me one right out there many years ago, and I love it out there, and I thought, you know what, I've never had one in here, and I'm always fighting for cords, so it was very convenient to use my grinder to cut the old transmission cable. Well, I have the shifter set in place. I had to drill a new hole the transmission tunnel kind of goes up right there, which was perfect because I needed my cable to go out straighter, and didn't want to put it in a bind with going through the factor hole, which I used before, and the factor hole was too far back. So this is exactly where I wanted to set it. I've set in the car and made sure it's where I wanted it. So this is where we're going to mount it. It's a beautiful 65 degrees today, and we're going to wrap up the transmission shifter install. I'm going to jack the car up and hook the linkage up, and then we're going to get the reverse and neutral safety switches wired in and make sure everything's good to go. It's a beautiful 73-degree day here, and I'm going to enjoy it by doing a little more work on the car. So I've got the interior battery shut off, remounted. I cut that bracket down and painted it, and then moved it over because it wasn't going to look right underneath the motion Raceworks shifter. And now I had one of these plugs left. I'm going to wire my neutral safety switch and my reverse light switch in with a plug so I can plug it in and out if I need to. Pretty much wrapped up with this shifter install. I've got the wire rerouted with the plugs, and it's going right up there underneath the dashboard, and yep, on to the next project. Hey, it's me again. Well, happy Friday. It's Friday here, anyway, in Indiana. We have a beautiful day today, and keeping with the weather theme, I will mention the weather. It's 76 degrees out. It's going to turn crappy tonight, they say, with some storms, but right now we'll enjoy it. And also, for those of you keeping track, there's only 11 months until Valentine's Day. So it'll be here before we know it, guys. So, mark your calendars. Make your lady happy. I'm going to fix a long-term problem that I've had. When I redid this turbo setup the last time, after I blew the motor up, I put the wastegate right down there, which is convenient. It's close to the turbo, but it's hard as heck to get to and to work on and change the spring and whatnot. So, because I had my Motion Raceworks can, which is sitting back there, I had it right here. It kind of blocks it, but I'm going to route this can back here and mount it onto this bracket, because they have since come out with a drain for the catch can, and you can route your drain wherever you want, which is perfect. So I can put that back there out of the way, and I'm going to bring the the wastegate up here a little bit. After a whole heck of a lot of fighting, this bolt, oh my god, what a pain. But I won. I'm victorious. I finally got the wastegate off of the mount down there, so now tomorrow I can build the new piece and get it remounted. Good morning. Well, we survived the storms last night. It was very windy. It's still windy today. You might hear that in some of this video. You may not. But anyway, today, finally got that bolt broken loose yesterday for the wastegate. And now we're going to build our new mount with some of the stuff that I ordered this week. And, well, I guess mount and relocation. So let's get started.
The new wastegate mount has been fabricated, and I've got it mocked up to make sure it's going to work out, and so I can do my downpipe. And I've got it tilted just a little bit to give me just a little bit of clearance more here, because I got plenty of room. And yeah, I think it's going to be really nice. I'm cutting the downpipe, the old one, apart so I can fab up the new one, because the direction of it obviously is going to change. Well, it's field trip time. Follow me for a new adventure. We're gonna go look at our painted parts in our professional paint booth. Alright, I fabbed this little bracket here, painted it black, to mount the catch can. And I left the lines as they were. I may shorten them and clock this at some point in time, or I may just leave it like they are. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to think about that. But then, now I've got a drain. It comes down here, and it goes over to here, and I put a petcock on it, so I can put a rubber hose on there and stick it down below to drain when I'm ready to do that. But it looks weird with it not being here. Well, I got another project wrapped up today. The projects are just going like crazy. So I've got my wastegate relocated, and everything that I've fabricated is wrapped with header wrap. And I even changed this line here to a push connect line while I was at it. I'll slowly probably change all of them as time goes on. Okay, on to the next. We said goodbye to the rubber airline on the blow-off valve, and it now has a plastic push connect that goes up there to the block. And I think that's going to do it for me today. I got a lot done. I'm going to go in and spend the rest of the evening with Mrs. Robinson. Hey, it's a beautiful 71 degrees out today in central Indiana. I'm kind of surprised that you're still watching at this point, and hey, thanks for sticking it out because I do some funny, strange things. Anyway, today I'm going to change one of the switches that I just wired in. On this guy right here, if you can see it. It's for the interior fan, and I want to wire the water pump up to where I can turn it off and on. So when I have the laptop hooked up to the car, the water pump currently is just on the key. So when the key's on, the water pump's running, and I wanted to be able to shut it off. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to eventually add a couple switches right here, probably for another one for the fan to reroute the interior fan, and one for an interior light. So I have my water pump is now wired up to this second switch here, and I can leave it on and it'll just run like it is normal, and then when I don't want it on, I can shut it off. And that used to be the fan switch for the fan. It's right back there, and I'm going to put the wires for that. I'm going to end up putting a toggle switch up here that looks kind of like this little guy, and I'm going to just temporarily wire it in here to make sure it works before I drill a hole. Switch number 1 that I've installed, I have my holes drilled. This is actually going to be for the fan. The other one right here will be for the interior light. I don't know if I'll get to that one today or not, but at least I'll get to plug in and the wires ran. But yeah, it's a nice little spot to stick them in. Up out of the way. Now, I didn't record any of this, but yesterday I hooked the laptop up to the car for the first time and pulled it out in the driveway and was tinkering around with it, and it kept telling me it was losing the signal with the ECU, multiple times. So I didn't do anything about it after that. I thought about it today, all day actually at work, and decided maybe I should try it again. Maybe I needed to bypass one of the CAN bus wires, because I did I did buy one that was not a Holley brand, so I'm rectifying that problem. But anyway, I bypassed those today in hopes that I would figure out my problem, and this error that you can see here on the screen came up. So now I'm going to power everything back down and go inside and download version 3 of the software, which I thought I had done that, but obviously I only put version 2 on. But let's see what happens. Well, in a matter of minutes, I downloaded version 3 of the software, and we are linked to the car. Well, this morning when I got up and checked the weather, there was only a 5% chance of rain, and it was going to be partly sunny. So when I stopped to get gas for my truck, I took the fuel jug and got 6 gallons of 93 to put in the car to put some miles on it today. But I work about 26 miles from home, and I drove through rain all the way home. So apparently the 5% went to 100%. Raining here soon, but I want to do a data log and put some miles on this thing. So right now we have 908.2 miles on it, and I'm gonna see what we get here with the data log. Wish me luck.
coming I was talking about. Long train. Long train. 178 degrees on the temperature. I've gone about, what, 3 miles? Holy cow, this is long. Where's the end of the thing? I'm done. I'm back home, so. Oh, here, I'll let you pass. Okay. I wanted to take it out yesterday. It's supposed to be nice, and I drove in rain all the way home, so I was like, well, and then it's supposed to rain here.
Well, hello there. It's been a few days since I've done anything on the car. I have spoken with the tuner, and he has given me a base tune to start with. He's requested that I change the gap on the plugs, so I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it goes. I may even load the tune tonight, but we'll just have to see.
All right, we're gonna go to the other side now.
I'm trying to load this tune into my car, and what you know, it wants to update the laptop. Hallelujah. You're 100% there. Please keep your computer on. No, if I was 100% there, I'd be able to see the desktop. My desktop is not black. Well, still, like, what, 30 minutes into this, and the computer is just being a total ass. So I've got it here inside. Now I'm trying to figure it out, reading stuff online, and hopefully we can get this thing to work. Electronics, they're so frustrating. Well, here we are about 3 hours later. I'm still fighting with this thing. I had to take a break from it for a little while, as you might understand. We'll see what happens. Hey, here we are still. I just finally wiped the computer, and I'm doing a fresh install. So I was up till 11 last night, which is way late for me, getting this laptop to behave, and I'm still not sure that it's correct, but I'm able to use it today, and I've got my bass tune from TC Tuned loaded, and if you can see there, it's got my name, and now I have some information I've taken, and I need to send it to him, and he will get back with me and proceed accordingly. Good morning. This is kind of an unexpected day with the car. My work, as you'll see in these photos right here, we had some bad weather last night. Actually, I think a tornado came through the area, and our office is without power, so won't be working today. So I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons, I guess, and work on the race car a little bit. I've been talking with the tuner, and he has sent me a revised base tune that I need to load, and then I need to resubmit some information to him for some further evaluation. I have a piece of candy in my mouth. I apologize. Thank you, Jolly Rancher, for the delicious candy. But here I am back in the car again on this unexpected day off. Going to take some advantage of that and, you know, work on the race car a little bit. So Trevor from TC Tuned got back to me and said I needed to reload this revised file that he did. And I'm supposed to get these numbers, some of these numbers back to him, and then we will proceed accordingly. So that's what I've just done. And so far it's been super easy process, and he's been great to work with. And continuing with this extra free day of car work I've got, you may remember a while back in the video I mentioned this throttle cable bracket was bending when I was pushing the accelerator pedal. Well, I've realized since we started this tuning exercise that I do need to address the cable being loose, and so I can get my IAC and everything else squared away with that. And I don't have to do a TPS reset, obviously, but I'm going to reinforce this so this will stay upright, so this won't ever move. That's my plan anyway. Hey, happy Friday! I got another tune file sent to me by Trevor. He wants me to load and get him a log. I also have a new fuel pressure regulator to put on, and you may be able to hear that, but it is kind of damp out today. The other day, I might have mentioned that I could only get my fuel pressure regulator to register like 36 psi, no matter how far in or out I screwed the fitting at the top. So I'm thinking something is wrong with it, either that or the sensor, which I do have another fuel pressure sensor. So I'm going to swap out this fuel pressure regulator, which it may not even be the right style, because when I originally bought some of this stuff, I was going to run a carburetor on the car, and I ended up changing my mind and sticking with fuel injection. But I did get a new one, and this one is made for fuel injection with the 1-to-1 boost reference. So hopefully this will solve the problem. Okie here's the new fuel pressure regulator all mounted up and ready to perform. So I had a little bit of play in this throttle cable. Even when it was pulled all the way tight, there was still just some play. So I monkeyed around with this and some stuff on the inside with the accelerator pedal, and I've got it pretty tight. So tomorrow I will probably do a TPS reset and fire this thing back up with after I load the current base tune file from Trevor. Well, I'm this on its initial 10 to 30 mile drive and see what kind of data log we get and what I can send off to the tuner. Well, our first drive is a success. I didn't film any of it because you've seen me drive this thing before, so I'm happy that my rigged up bungee cords held my laptop in place and it never lost signal while it was data logging, and I made it home safely. Happy Friday from the hairy guy. I think this is a week again. Yeah, lazy butt. But anyway, I have an updated file from Trevor, a global file. After driving yesterday, I sent him the data log and he got one back to me. He has some concern that maybe it's not firing on all 8, but I don't think that's the problem. But I'm going to get an infrared heat gun and to verify that. But he gave me a new tune to load and he said to do a log, so that's what we're gonna do. This is pretty simple. No. Okay, so now the new tune is loaded. Let's go up here and link ourselves in, and we're going to send to the ECU this new file, and it's synced very fast. Okay, I think we're ready to do a data log and fire it up. It's a beautiful spring day, and I'm going to take advantage of being able to do this stuff outside, because when I'm on the passenger side of the car in the garage, I don't have a lot of room and I really can't open the door, and I need to do some wiring on this side. I want to cover up the power wires with the convoluted tubing, and I want to finish wiring up the interior light. I've got that light right up there, and the power comes over here, and I'm going to tie it into the panel. Well, light number 1 ended up being a dud, so I had this light in the house, LED light, so I wired it in, and it's hooked to the switch here on the dash right here. It comes on and off. That'll be great at night when I'm trying to see stuff at the track. Well, it's not the prettiest, but at least, you know, we follow the form follows function law, and the wires will no longer be in harm's way. believe it or not, it's actually the same day as you saw me earlier with all that facial hair, so I cleaned up pretty well. Okay, so now that I got all the lights and the switches and switch panel, everything wired, I want to label them, and I'm going to print out some labels on my label maker and run them along here and mark these up here. Now those are all done and labeled. I like it a lot. Hey, happy Monday, folks. It's a beautiful 77 degree spring day here in Indiana, and Trevor has sent me another revised file. After Friday's drive, the AFRs looked really good, and he made a slight little tweak, and I'm going to load that into the computer back here behind me and take a quick little run before Miss Charlene gets home. So Trevor asked me how the car felt, and I told him it felt great. It just pulls at any speed. There was one little thing I noticed with the accelerator, like it wanted to die for a split second when you would accelerate from a stop. And you know, I figured it was something with my throttle body. Well, he got back to me and said, "Hey, try this file and let me know if it helps." So I'm got it loaded into the Holley, and I'm going to go stick it in the car so it will be ready tomorrow when I get home from work, and I can just go take it for a drive immediately. All right, we're going to link up with the computer and load this new file, and that's all it took. The new file is in there. Alright, now I just need to cycle the key and go to town. It's a beautiful spring day here in Indiana, and this may be my last drive with the car. Trevor did one small adjustment, and the neighbor's dog keeps barking. Holley is his name. He likes to bark at stuff. He's a very good watchdog. But anyway, so this may be my last drive before you see me hitting the track with this car. well, I think this is going to be the last tune for sure on this car before I take it to the track. Trevor wasn't happy with the way it would kind of split second stall or something. I don't know, like it lost. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, he sent another revised tune file and said this ought to take care of it. So I'm going to load it into the Terminator X. And let's see, we are live. Let's link. Let's send to the ECU. And we are synced. That should be it. Let's see what we get. See if it has that slight little hesitation when you accelerate. Hopefully we have fixed it. I'm not going to take it out on the street. I'm just going to monkey around with it here in the driveway. So we got to cycle the key. I like it. Let's try, we'll stop again. Oh yeah, there we go. It works perfect. Very happy with that. See, before it would hesitate every time I went from a stop and hit the accelerator. So we got her all, Trevor at TC Tune got me all fixed up. Makes me very happy. This is seriously gonna do it for this video. I appreciate you watching this thing. It was about 5 months in the making, it seems like, and had a lot of fun doing it. Did a lot of things to the car, and I can't wait to try it out at the track. I think it's gonna be Cleveland Cars 2025 at Indy will be the first event I try it out. So the next video you see this car will be making passes at the track. Thanks for watching. Well, I think this is gonna pretty much wrap up this video. The tune is pretty good on the car. I mean, that's probably the best it's ever ran for me, obviously, and it's nice to have someone that knows what they're doing, have it professionally done. And Trevor from TC Tune has been awesome, and probably the next time you'll see this car in a video will be at the track, seeing what it'll do. So I realized that some of you may want some closure on this one part of the car one of the first things I did was I cut the dashboard and made a panel, an access panel for the Terminator X. Well, I never did, I have yet to finish that project, so here it is, May the 1st.
and we're going to knock that guy out. Well, I used the trusty old Gorilla Glue, and I glued some Velcro. It was already adhesive Velcro, but I used the glue to make it more permanent. I glued it on there, and then I also glued 4 pieces on the back side of the panel. Well, it's Friday, May the 2nd, and we've got the car in the trailer. Plenty of room for my scooter and some other stuff.